defending. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. As usual, people, good afternoon where those of you like myself in the United Kingdom are concerned. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and of course, good night, depending on where else you lot are placed on God's fine earth, people. As usual, I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's cracking on with the day and obviously positively making contributions to bettering their life. As usual, without health, you can't do any of that. So anybody listening, and I'd love to wish you and your loved ones, continued health in all denominations of the word. Now, obviously, I'm still waiting on Statman Baines and Aaron to join. By God's grace, Manchester United on Thursday are this slow out of the blocks at Old Trafford, so Arsenal can walk away with the 3 points, people. So, yeah, and to be fair, I have sent them the link quite late. I thought, you know what, I'm not going to lie, I've been eating my lunch, people. I've had a Tesco's meal, I thought, you know what, let me entertain you lot for a sec, warm the crowd up and whatnot, people. It is what it is. Welcome back to those of you lot that are tuned back in. It's the second live Twitch stream of the day. Please make sure you're following and subscribing. Appreciative to everyone who was here and or obviously on YouTube at 11:30. I rather enjoyed the YouTube stream, if I must say so myself, courtesy of you guys. So yeah, go out and check that. Obviously, a couple of reruns will go out online on YouTube today. Admittedly, I'm very behind in terms of YouTube content on Football Manager and actually youth content. Bear with me, it's a one-man band as we endeavor to obviously do better. In fact, one of my goals for next year is obviously to pattern up with my time management and making sure these things come out when they're meant to, in it, people. Pardon me, but we're not perfect. As you see, I've got a lot of potential. And look at this fine face, man. You have to allow me sometimes, in it. The pros to me outweigh the cons, in it. It is what it is. You know what you get with me, people. Tenacity. And again, we wouldn't be here without you lot. Sorry, people. You probably saw the chair unwind. I can't lie. It's a lovely new feature. These lot are making me a bit skeptical as to if they'll arrive, but I know Aaron and Stat wouldn't let man down. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna warm up the crowd until them and they are ready. So yeah, and I see a couple of you were in the comments early doors. I appreciate it. Again, without you lots, this platform is dead, in it. So again, appreciative of all the support and whatnot. Don't feel any sort of way to get questions, talking points, all of those sorts of things in. As we know, on Thursday, Man United against Arsenal, Arsenal against Man United. It's a game where obviously, I'm 26, so those, a couple of us growing up and those of you older remember when this used to be a real fixture where the league's concerned and whatnot and fighting each other and things. It's anything but that. It is obviously a 6-pointer and whatnot going into fighting for the Champions League and things like that. First United guy out the blocks, he's locked in, man. He's saying?
Listen, I can already see the comments. Someone said here for the Vainsy Ronaldo rattling. Listen,
yeah. I can't lie. Just big up yourself for coming in and making your debut, my guy. Yeah, but I can't lie. This morning, everyone was like, "Oh, ask Statman about." I told them in it. They were like, "Oh, ask Statman about Ronaldo." I was like, well, "What's all of that got to do?" So yeah, what is all of that, man?
Everyone knows Ronaldo's my guy. Didn't win the Ballon d'Or yesterday. Expected. Messi won another one. I can't lie. I still think Leo deserved it. But people are going to say I'm salty.
Why would they say you're salty?
Because everyone knows Ronaldo's my guy. Everyone knows I ride that for Cristiano, innit? Because I feel like right now he's just an easy target every single time. Anything that happens is Ronaldo's fault straight away. Like the pressing thing at the start of the season. Come on, man. We weren't a great pressing side before Ronaldo came.
Expand on that, man. I'm loving how this is sounding. Go on, expand on this because I planned to ask you this, but you've kind of alluded to the topic.
No, but when you watched us last season, we weren't an unbelievable pressing side. Secondly, when I always say about the press, it's not down to one person. Aaron, we're talking about Ronaldo.
Yes.
My guy. Hey, you jump right in, man. Ronaldo, he's about to let me have it on this Ronaldo and this pressing and all of this business, man. Feel free to jump in, man. I'm like a fan. I just want to listen, man. Don't let me cut you, Stat, man. Big up both of you for tuning in, man.
Listen, big up Aaron as well, yeah. But what I'm saying, yeah, like one person shouldn't determine a press. So when people say the press is just all Ronaldo's fault, it isn't. Because we're not a very well coached side. Everyone knows that. And even Aaron will back me up on this. We don't press as a team anyway. So when people say it's Ronaldo's fault, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think I can agree on what Statman just said there. I don't know. To be fair, I don't know why everyone's so... Why are we so concerned about pressing all of a sudden? Where did this come from? We've never been a team that pressed in the first place. We never did it under Van Gaal. We never did it under Mourinho. We never even did it under Oli, to be honest with you. So why is everyone so concerned about pressing? Ronaldo never pressed he never pressed in the day of his life. Maybe when he was younger, probably like 21, 22, 23. But when he left us and went to Real Madrid, I think that whole pressing thing stopped. So I don't know, sorry, why everyone expects him to press at 36, nearly 37 in a few months' time. So yeah, I've got to agree with Statman on that one. But there are a few things on Ronaldo that, I have my opinions on, but I don't know if Statman's going to agree with it.
No. Hold on to it. Don't forget it. Yeah. I just want to ask you something from a selfish point of view, because I feel as a selfish neutral, I think a lot is made of that pressing business. I feel obviously in the modern day, you need to press. People act like Ronaldo's just standing statues. Like I actually see him moving around and pressing and so on and so forth. Now, obviously, like you said, he's 30, whatever. He's not going to be able to do that. So I wanted to ask you, like, do you feel obviously with Ralph coming in, do you feel this pressing thing is kind of not a thing that could happen? But just before we get into that, man, carry on with this Ronaldo business. I don't want to lose it, man. I feel to get the popcorn ready.
Nah, but with Ronaldo, yeah, like when he first signed, a lot of people actually thought we were still getting the Real Madrid Ronaldo, who was still able to cut in and shoot and put it top bins from 30 yards. We're not getting that type of Ronaldo. We still haven't seen that. We haven't seen it in years, even at Real Madrid, at Juventus when he was there. We're getting a Ronaldo who's feeding off crosses, who's feeding off service. If you don't do that, he's basically ineffective. You might as well not play him. And I've always used the example of, there's many examples like this, but the most recent one I can think of is the Portugal-Ireland game when they played at home. And then I think Ireland were leading until like the 90th minute, 91st?
Stupid. Yeah, it looked like the game was to a close, yeah.
Exactly. The Portugal put in 2 crosses, Ronaldo scores 2 headers. And I said, that's the type of Ronaldo we're getting. If we can't put in crosses for him, it's going to be a struggle. And yes, he's going to score goals eventually because that's just how he is, isn't it? He only needs half a yard to be able to hit it, and it goes to the back of the net. Example, Atalanta away. I never thought that shot that he took, I never thought it would have gone in, but half a yard, hits it perfectly, 2-2. So, but we can't even do that properly. Wan-Bissaka ain't putting no crosses in. Luke Shaw ain't putting no crosses in. The only ones that are putting crosses in decently are Dallo and Telles, and they ain't playing. Well, they weren't. So I'm not surprised why he's not scoring. I'm not surprised why Ronaldo's not affecting the game. We've got to be able to find something that accommodates him. But I doubt that under Rangnick we're going to find it, because Rangnick's the type of guy, he won't care about no legendary position. He won't care that it's Ronaldo. He's just going to play whoever fits in his system. And I think that Ronaldo might not play as many games as we think. That's what I think.
Raw. Stat man, I'm seeing you moving emotional, man. You're holding something in, man. What you got to say to that one day?
This is what I say, yeah, but under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Ronaldo pretty much played every single game because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had the pressure to play him because his job was on the line. When your job's on the line, you play the best players, and Ronaldo's one of our better players.
Fact.
Under Ralph, I still feel like he'll still play most of our games. He'll be rested a lot more because hopefully we're actually going to have a unit around Cristiano Ronaldo that even when Ronaldo comes out, we can still score goals, for example. And we're not just solely reliant on Ronaldo. But I still think when people say, oh, he's not going to press under Ralph. Listen, he's still Cristiano Ronaldo. I still feel like first of all, there's going to be a pressure from the higher ups to play Ronaldo. Same way there's a pressure to play Messi as well, because their brands are massive. The clubs need these type of players to play for them.
Franchise guys, as much as they have made footballers.
And at the end of the day, I've always said it. Say what you want about Ronaldo and Messi, I still feel like they've kind of earned the respect that you kind of have to build the team around them.
Do you think sorry, Aaron, do you think that's phased? Because I think you're going to allude to it. Do you think that's sort of phased? Because obviously, like you said, he is getting 30. On one hand, you did buy him. You can't really mess around with him. But is it flawed? Because obviously you've got young players. He might not be there in 2-3 years as much as Ronaldo looks after himself. And then it's kind of back to square one. And it's like, as a neutral looking at Ralph, I do think he plays Ronaldo, but I kind of need to find a system with the 10 other players excluding him.
Yeah, I think that's what Ralph would do, though. Find the system around Cristiano Ronaldo. I feel like, say, for example, we might see a lot more Jesse Lingard, because Jesse Lingard's one of our most fit players.
Not on Thursday, man. I can't take that done, man. But
I agree with Statman, bro. I think Lingard will play a huge part in Ralph's plans because he's just a Ralph type player. Lots of energy. He can run. He can play for 120 minutes and not look tired.
Obviously, it's running out. Is that a new contract for Lingard? Then obviously we can't pre-predict the future, but his deal's running down. He does want to play, or he would have left in the summer. you have to kind of cross that territory, or has he got to discard him? Because as a neutral, away from ability, I'm looking at who Ralph is going to use early doors. Ronaldo's Ronaldo. A couple of players just look like they need a lot of love. A couple of players have bad habits. A majority of players just aren't good enough to do what you used to do historically. So I'm keen to see what he wants to do, because realistically, he's taking over mid-season. There is a lot of time to coach. There is a season to save. Like, as much as it's doom and gloom for you, man, mathematically, you're not out of the top 4. You know, you're still in your competition. So it will be interesting. Like, I look at your midfield. I do think, you know, Fred and McTominay in isolation, they're not bad players, but as a neutral, again, looking at that, if that's playing Man United quality week in, week out, then you're not trying to be serious as you used to be as a club.
No, you know what? New contract for Lingard. I don't know, actually. I think the best thing for him would be to move away, man. I think that would be the best thing for him, just for his future, man. I think if he really wants to play in that World Cup next year, and he wants to be in that England squad, it'd be best for him to move in. I don't know if there's truth to that, but I heard that West Ham are preparing a new bid to try and get him to West Ham, because to try and get him to London, because Ben Rama's going to leave. He's going to play that AFCON with Algeria. So they're going to need someone in that number 10 position that's going to cover up for him. So that will be a shout. And I think if West Ham come in and offer him that position and offer him, you know, whatever wage to play for West Ham to go there, I would say just go. Play your best football, because we've seen that he plays his best football there. He come back to United. I think he got a bit gassed about
was it always the myth? Thing. God, the Ronaldo, Sancho's there, England, it's looking wavy. Was it a bit of a myth?
It was always going to be a myth for him to play, bro. Even Dan James played ahead of him. So it was always going to be a myth for Jesse Lingard. So it was a mistake for him to stay, man. It's actually, and the fact that he actually believed that Oli was going to give him minutes is ludicrous, man. Because it was never going to happen. It was never going to happen, bro. Never. So new contract for Lingard, I hope not, because I want him to do well. That's why I'm saying it. It's not that I don't want him at Manchester United. It's because I want him to do well, and I actually believe that for that England team, he might do better than certain players that play in that formation, game in, game out, and actually don't put in the performance, in my opinion. But it's going to be an interesting one, man. I think a lot of players are due to leave under Ralph. I think a lot of players won't be able to keep up with. Would you say it's on the chopping block? I think someone like Luke Shaw, definitely. He's been at the club for 8 years and has given us 6 good months, bro, since his injury. And it's just not good enough for me. It's just not good enough. You can't be at a club like Manchester United for 8 years and only give us 6 good months. It's not good enough for me.
Don't make sense, innit?
It don't make sense. I think he will play someone like Telles, who's a bit more mobile, goes a bit more forward. It's not afraid to put in a cross, not afraid to shoot. Do you know what I mean? Yes, defensively might do a bit better.
Press higher up the field as well with them sort of men.
Exactly.
They do fail defensively.
Exactly. So I think someone like AWB might be on the chopping board as well. Literally before we came on this stream, I'm reading something from a guy called Lamptey, Henry or something about Lamptey. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Right, that's wavy.
Do you see what I mean? So if Lamptey comes in, that's Wan-Bissaka gone. I can tell
What's wrong? What's gone wrong for Wan-Bissaka? Obviously, 50 million. On one hand, as a neutral, I don't think he's a bad player, but he's got bad habits, man. And it doesn't look like it's getting better. He looks like he needs extreme one-to-one coaching in a lot of aspects. And I can't really see it now. Maybe Ralph is a magician and can do something. For you lot, where you at with Wan-Bissaka? Because he seems to be all over the shop. I do think he runs the agenda. People agenda him at times, but yeah, man, he's just it's just all mad for him right now.
Yeah, you go start, man.
I'll say this on Wan-Bissaka, like everyone knows Wan-Bissaka's like fundamentals are not the best in terms of he doesn't help us a lot going forward. But I would say you see defensively this season, since, for example, at the start, remember last season we always used to say Wan-Bissaka back post mistakes every single week. Under when Rafa Varane's been playing,
I scored them things against Leicester away, but go on.
Yeah, but other than that, we have seen a massive improvement in his defensive game in my eyes for Wan-Bissaka. And I do feel like at times, especially since the young boy's red card, and maybe not the last couple of games, he has actually had a decent spell. But at the same time, is Wan-Bissaka going to be the guy when you're trying to win the league for him to like help you progress attacks, for example, down the right hand side? The answer is no. Which is why, for example, we're linked to Lamptey. There's a reason why a lot of people want to see Diego Dalot play as well. Because Diego Dalot is a much better footballer. And you know one thing I say about Ralph's sides? Because like he changes formation so many times, for example, a bit like Nagelsmann, most of the players can play like 2 to 3 different positions. Wan-Bissaka is just a right back. There's nothing else to his game. He's not a right wing back. He's not
He used to be a winger academy days, allegedly.
Yeah, there's no way he can play.
Bro, there's
right
not.
with
I think we've all seen that footage of him.
I think you said in the chat.
Smashing work. Like, I'm like, how did he go from that to being a right back? And
nothing beaky has happened, fam. His powers are gone, man. I can't lie.
It's Space Jam thing, bro. What happened?
What would you make of this question? Because obviously Pepe, I'm not comparing. Listen, Pepe's a flop. It is what it is. But in relation to Pepe, we've had this debate at Arsenal in relation to a better right back, a more attacking right back gets the best out of them. And obviously G1's mentioned Lamptey and Sancho is self-explanatory in it, both of them contributing. Where are you at with Sancho under potentially Ralph? And where are you at with, do you need a better right back to get better out of Sancho? And if so, is that flawed? Because at the end of the day, Wan-Bissaka's playing right now. Unless something happens in January or the next summer, he's playing right now. He has to kind of get on with it unless he moves over to the left.
I think, yeah, Sancho definitely needs a better partner up behind him, man, because I think sometimes when Sancho plays, I forget what game was it that I can't remember what game it was, but it must have been one of his first games or his first start for United in one of the recent games. You can see he's got the ball on the right-hand side and he's waiting for Wan-Bissaka to overlap. But it's not happening. So he's got his arms open like, yo, what's going on? And he kind of has to tell man to like, yo, come with me. Do this, do that. And you can see the intent. You can see the intent of him trying to play that football that he used to play at Dortmund. 1 touch, 2 touch football. Give and go. Pass, move. Pass and move. Try and make, defenders... Try and drive defenders a bit crazy. Make them feel a bit dizzy because that 1-2 touch play make them uncomfortable because it's too quick. But you can see the players around them are just not on that same wavelength. They prefer to hug the ball, keep it, play it backwards, and then start again and then lose time. And it's frustrating for him. So I think someone like Lamptey would fit perfectly for him because it would be the closest thing he had to Hakimi at Dortmund. Because him and Hakimi, oh my God, that for me was one of the best right-hand side.
To be a left back playing against that myth.
Yeah, crazy. So I think Lamptey would be the closest thing to him playing with Hakimi. So yeah, anyone better than Wan-Bissaka, even Dalot to a certain extent would be better than better suited to play with Sancho on the right hand side. And I don't think they've played together yet, if I'm not wrong. So I'd like to see that.
Even there's an interesting one as well. You never know; he could come back in January.
Oh yeah, because he's playing well at Swansea, isn't
Swansea.
He's having a good loan spell there. Yeah.
And he's on loan at MK Dons, was it last year?
Yeah, MK Dons. I think last part of the season, second half of the season, did well. Got a few assists. So I would bring Ethan Laird back in January if he can. And yeah, man, just give Wan-Bissaka competition, man. Let him know that he's not undroppable because that's one of the things that a lot of players have been feeling under Oli. They could put in stinkers, and still feel like, I'm going to play next game. So someone needs to come in. Well, Ralph is here now, and he needs to let people know, listen, you're not undroppable. If you're playing bad, you're off the pitch. And I always give the example of, because I always said that his mentality, the mentality of Tuchel, the mentality of Klopp, the mentality of the Nagelsmann, they all come from Rangnick. And I gave the example of Tuchel when Chelsea played Southampton away, when Hudson-Odoi came on, didn't do what he was told, and after 20 minutes, he was off again. And I said, it's ruthless. And I told people to be ready for that because, and I spoke for myself as well. It might happen to one of my favorites. It might happen to Martial, it might happen to Pogba. If you're coming on the pitch, I don't think Rangnick cares if it's 15 minutes. If you don't do what you're told, you're off.
There's no emotion behind it. And it does bear fruit, like you've seen with one of his disciples in Chelsea's Nagelsmann. You've seen, as you mentioned, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Chilwell's been through that, Reece James as well. Yep. So you're right about that, man. I wanted to ask you kind of two questions in one. But before we get into Ralph, where you at with Sancho, like the good, bad, and the ugly, the things he can be accountable for, uncut, no agendas, the things that is kind of woe is me, the excuses that you can give him, what he can do better, and what you perceived what was going to happen and what's actually happened so far in his career at United.
You know what I say about Sancho here? Like, no one should have expected he was going to hit the ground running straight away. Like, he didn't have a preseason. He's coming into a brand new league and he's still quite young. Well, he's still 21, right?
He might as well be a foreign player in that. He's never played Premier League football before that.
So, like, when people expected him to hit the ground running straight away, it was always going to be hard. And then you're coming into an unsettled Manchester United side that, let's be honest, this season would be shocking. So you can't expect someone like Jadon Sancho to perform straight away. Now he's actually getting a bit of match fitness and getting consistent run in the side. We've seen the last 2 games. Especially against Watford, for example. He was unbelievable. Chelsea got his goal as well. And then against Villarreal, he scored. So now we're kind of seeing the best out of Jadon Sancho. But at the same time, it's going to take time. And I said this at the start of the season. People just have to be patient. He's still a young player. You shouldn't expect him to hit the ground running straight away.
Yeah, I can only agree with that. I've always said Sancho, you have to give him a run of games for him to come back into his form, and it's not going to happen magically. And yeah, we've seen what a run of games can give him, what it can do to him, to his confidence. Like Statman mentioned, Watford, I think he was the best player on the pitch together with Van der Beek. Villarreal, again, one of the best players on the pitch. Chelsea, again, one of the best players on the pitch. So if you give him a run of games, oh, bro, the guy's going to explode. So I think that right-hand side for him now, that's his. I think Greenwood's going to have to work very hard. Very
doing
hard.
My guy dirty, even though he plays for you, man. Greenwood's my guy still. I hear you. But obviously, I don't want you lot to play it and play too well, but I just dream from a neutral point of view, seeing Sancho move over to that left, Greenwood either playing up front or on that right. I think he's your best attacker, man. He's wavy, man. Greenwood is. All right, so yeah, man, it's lovely to see Lowski doesn't, he's actually looking like a footballer these days, man. So yeah, away from him, you mentioned Paul Pogba. I had no intention of mentioning him, but what's the, for you lot are United hives, you're United fans, this whole Pogba business, where are we at now with it? Is it the inevitable? Injured. What's going on? No, obviously we know he's injured. Is he staying?
With Paul Pogba, yeah,
you might want it to be over with. Like,
I feel like with Paul Pogba, the only way he's going to stay was Zidane. I think now we haven't got Zidane. I think there's no chance he stays now. And I think, let's be honest, I feel like it's the right time, innit? I feel like both parties are probably like,
why? Don't say these things and say why. I'm not saying that to try and pick polls.
I just feel like the saga's gone on too long now with Paul Pogba, and we haven't helped Paul Pogba in building the best team for him, and he hasn't helped us with like consistent performances, for example, innit? So I feel like now is kind of like the right time to part. There's no point in like selling Paul Pogba dreams again. Let's just move on. In my eyes, we've messed up like business wise because we're going to let him go on a free. We move again.
Crazy.
Yeah,
where you at with it, Aaron?
I think it's for both parties. It's the best things for him to just go in it. He's another one that I want to go just because I want to see him do well. I feel like he's wasted. Yeah, he's wasted a lot of years at Man United because partially, yes, his performances haven't always been consistent. I agree with that, but also he's been treated very badly in terms of where he plays on the pitch. He's been treated like a utility player. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone knows what his best position is, but yet he gets shifted around the pitch like he's just any guy. Like he's a youth player who's just come into the team, and yeah, you can fill in there.
Get some minutes.
Last season he played right wing for God's sake against Liverpool. That I will never understand. And after the game, Ollie said it was to do a job on Robertson, to contain Robertson. I'm just like, play Dan James then. Don't play Pogba there. Like it's a total disrespect, and I would be fuming if I was him. I don't know how he's never complained that he's not played in his best position. But, Pogba's not that guy. The media tried to portray otherwise, but he's not that guy because he could have easily come out, throw his toys at the pram and say, yo, I'm not playing in my position. I'm not playing. Could have said that. But he's always been available for the team. When he's asked to play, he plays and he tries to do his best, even if it's not in his position. So I feel like there's a lot of inconsistencies with the coaching as well. Mourinho played him in a quarterback role, had him spamming balls, long balls from what's it called, centre back, and then after the game came out saying stuff like he could be a good centre back. Like Pogba's been disrespected
Pogba's been
on many levels.
Yeah, bloody hell.
I think it was, who did we play? Was it Burnley or something at home, or we were losing 1-0? Newcastle, yeah, Newcastle. We were losing 2-0, sorry, and we came back and won 3-2 under Mourinho.
His last season, yeah.
The long balls forward, bro. Pogba was just doing everything, and then Mourinho after the game said, yeah, he could be a good centre back. It's just, he's been disrespected on many levels when it comes to his positioning and playing him in his best position. And Ollie kind of got it right at one point, but then shifted him back to the double pivot when his favourite Rashford came back from injury. So, yeah, I think it's best for him if he just leaves, go to Real Madrid, go to Barcelona, go back to Juve, wherever you want to go. Because once he leaves, I'm sure he's gonna be closer to winning the Champions League, which for me is probably the only thing he needs that's left for him to be like certified and say like, okay, cool, I've won everything. Probably not the Premier League, but hey, it is what it is.
Makes sense. It makes sense. Obviously, now I know you lot have come through the struggle. Ollie's finally gone and whatnot, and you lot probably rejoice. But he played a major part in this season. So as United fans, Ollie, your players, give it to me. What's your season been like? How have you lot felt? Where you lot at? What's been the highs and the lows? How was you feeling at the start? Because as a neutral, it's gone from, I'm not saying you two necessarily, it's gone from talk around United being title challengers to now making that fourth spot sort of a Royal Rumble thing where, I can't even lie. Both teams have had poor seasons. We've gone from being relegated to that being a mathematically possible thing. So it is quite of a terrible mix. So where you lot at with your season, with the games played and whatnot?
It's been crap. It's been crap. That's the only way you can kind of describe it. Well,
Yeah.
we
I tried to be diplomatic with it, man.
Nah. There's no point of that, because let's be honest, everyone can see the picture. We signed Cristiano Ronaldo, Rafa Varane, Jadon Sancho when we finished second last year. We were meant to be in a title challenge. We're 8th right now.
Boy,
like there's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. We've been crap. Like there's nothing about us that suggested we've been a good side, and we somehow got worse from last year, which I thought was an impossible job.
And you know what? Even though like we all had our doubts about Oli and we had our criticism about him, I said, with the 3 signings that we made this summer, I said, bro, at least until March, I want to see us in that top 3. That's what I said. And boy, we're struggling to make top 6 right now. So it definitely hasn't been good. But
I will have the Carabao Cup as well.
Yeah, man, first round, bro. So the signs were there from the Europa League final, and I think by not the first game, by the second game, the Southampton game away, that's when I knew, we're not making it. We're not making it this season. We're not challenging for no titles because we struggled against that Southampton side. Struggled, man. They pressed us very high. I know Greenwood got his goal, but we struggled, man. And that's when I knew, this is going to be a long season. And it took a while for people to kind of realize it, because obviously they were backing Oli and fully supporting him. But yeah, man, I think, when was it that everyone realized? I think everyone realized it properly when we lost 5-0 to Liverpool at home, innit? That's when everyone was like, this is not it. But we saw it from early, bro. The Villarreal game, when we struggled, we came back, we won. Atalanta game, we struggled, we came back, we won. Bro, we put in some terrible performances. I've said that the 2 worst performances I've seen, was the Atalanta home game, the first half, terrible. And the Watford first half, that was just, those are on par with the worst performances I've ever seen. So it couldn't have carried on, man. How people still wanted Oli to stay, I don't know, because if he stayed, we probably would have been 13th, 15th, or 16th right now. And I'm being dead serious. This guy would have had us playing in the relegation zone, honestly.
Why do you think it took so long? Because obviously it looked like, as a neutral, again, it looked like international break that could have been done. I don't know all the factors that went behind it, but it looked like, let's get that done. Maybe if Raf does that now, all of the things you're hopeful under Raf, which we're going to get onto, it kind of, the wheels would be in motion right now. It kind of looked a bit silly, because especially with what's going on with his work permit and allegedly Carrick being in charge on Thursday. So obviously he's going to be for the end of the season. There will be a time, but it just looks like a bit of, as my man's kind of said here, sheer incompetence, really.
Facts, bro. I would put it on a few factors why he hasn't been sacked so early. Obviously, the board, they clearly did think that this Oli thing would work, because that's why they gave him a new contract. So they fully believed in him. They fully thought, all right, cool, we're going to give him these 3 players and he's going to challenge for the title. That should be enough. And they didn't really think about the minerals that you have to have as a manager to actually coach these players properly to be doing a title challenge. Another thing, and I've always said that, I've always been honest about it, the fans and the pundits, man. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is probably, or was, the most protected manager in terms of the media. The amount of excuses I've heard for this guy is incredible. And also the fans. And a lot of fans came at me and said, why are you saying that we're at fault for this, etc., etc.? And I picked the example of Spurs fans. Now, I know Spurs are going through a rough time and the whole thing with Levy and Nuno, but when they put in that horrible performance against us, the fans let it be known that they weren't happy. They booed. And as a fan, you have the right to criticize the product that you pay for. If you're going to Emirates right now, DG, and you're seeing Arsenal play and the football's crap for 5-6 months, you're allowed to come out and say, I'm not happy with this. So why are you going to Old Trafford? 100%. Exactly. So why are you going to Old Trafford? You're clearly seeing that something's wrong, but you're still singing Ollie's name. Why? That tells me that, one, you don't know nothing about football, and you just go there to have a good day out, just to get pissed and sing songs. So you don't really care about the football. You don't. So I would put it on the board. The pundits protecting Oli and the fans still singing his name. If the fans, because we did the same with this can be compared to the Mourinho situation. When Mourinho was playing that graveyard football at Old Trafford, we let it be known that we weren't happy and he was out of the door. So why is it different with Oli?
Because of that attraction of what he was as a player, innit?
Exactly. It could only be blamed on the emotion that the fans have and the pundits. Oh, because he's my friend. I used to play with him. We don't care. He's a manager now. So
Facts.
I would put it down on these three things, man.
Facts. What are you saying to that stat?
Aaron spitting. He's
That's what I was thinking. I don't. There ain't nothing else to say, man. That needs to be on a mixtape. But like you said, the cold, unedited truth there, fam. It's 100% sense with the Oli thing. It's like Arteta is. There's no comparison to it. But it's like even the fact that Arteta flirted with just being an Arsenal player of no real stature and a legend and them things. Respectfully, a lot of fans ride for him like that. Where for me personally, I'm kind of in a mixed zone. Like if you do well, you do well. If you do bad, you have to feel it. I've seen nothing to kind of go either way. There's been moments where, of course, you need to. It's looked like you need to go. And there's been moments like right now where there's little ones and twos and a lot that could be better. It's a bit of false confidence, but it seems to be all right. So what would you say, looking at your team from a tactical point of view, are the number one priorities? Obviously, shipping goals. We know that, it's quite ridiculous, 20 plus goals in the Prem.
But saying that, yeah, I said this, you see under Michael Carrick, our defensive structure has actually been a lot better.
This is what I was going to get onto about Carrick as well. But go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, people are going to say straight away he parked the bus against Chelsea. We did, but at the same time,
Chelsea, man.
Yeah, but like you see under Oli, even when you try playing defensive football, no matter what, the opponents were through straight away. At least under Michael Carrick, for example, against Villarreal, we tried a little at times. When we're defending, like that little 4-4-2 shape, where Ronaldo and Martial went up top, and then Fred kind of shifted to the left. Donny van der Beek dropped back. You could clearly see a plan from the defensive side of the game, which is very, very impressive. Against Chelsea, we played a little diamond 4-3-1-2 or Bruno false nine, whatever you want to call it. We changed something up, and that's where you have to say, criticize Michael Carrick all you want about how he played it. He's got results so far.
Got something away from it. People can talk about the mistake. When you work hard, you get something.
And people I've seen people say, "Oh, you criticize Oli for defensive football, but now you're not criticizing Michael Carrick
because there's a plan."
Two different. Yeah, Michael Carrick's been here for 2 games. He hasn't been managing for 13 years like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Secondly, we know Michael Carrick's gone after Arsenal, so we're fine with this. And what against Villarreal, we needed to win. Let's be honest, it was a massive game for us. He got us through in the Champions League. Fair play to him, top of the group. Against Chelsea, if you said before the game, point at
going to bite your arm off for that, 100%.
I would have been delighted because let's be honest, everyone said we were going to lose 3-4-0.
It could have been a caning. It could have been something disrespectful. It could have, but it wasn't.
And you know what? I said it as well, man. Even if it's a little 10-20% of credit that you have to give to Carrick, I'll give it to him because, especially the Villarreal game, I was praising him for the starting lineup because I could see the intention of him wanting to win that game. Van der Beek started, Sancho started, Martial started, Ronaldo started. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll give him credit for trying a thing. Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? I'll give him the credit because he wants to win the game. Same with Chelsea.
He was even disappointed in the post around that as well.
I said it was the right thing to not start Ronaldo because Ronaldo up against 3 centre-backs, that's him choking. And no disrespect to Ronaldo, but fam, you're up against 3 centre-backs, bro. One of them, Thiago Silva.
And you're not a spring chicken either at this moment in time.
Exactly. He would have had you in a chokehold, bro. You would have choked. I'm sorry. So it was brave for him to do that. To start Rashford and Sancho. What's that?
He looked ready to say something when you mentioned Ronaldo still. But go ahead.
No, but listen, I'm just being honest, but I think it was the right decision because I honestly think Ronaldo wouldn't have done anything because he relies on service anyway. And Chelsea would have had more possession. We know that. So Ronaldo would have just been defending the first half, like 35 minutes. He just would have been defending, running sideways, trying to press and trying to close people down. You don't really want to do that to Ronaldo. You want him to be in that box, get someone puts in a cross, he's at the end of it. So I'll give credit to Carrick for like the intention to win. He puts out a starting lineup and you can tell he wants to win. If that was Oli against Chelsea, oh my God. It would have been a 4-2-3-1. It would have been Fred and McTominay in a double pivot. It would have been Bruno Rashford.
Mason.
Well, probably Mason, even though he just came back from illness. He still would have played him. And it would have been Ronaldo up top. And we wouldn't have had nothing the whole game. So Carrick, listen, as much as, I criticize him for being part of Oli's staff when he was still here and still like having the same habits as Oli.
You might be a part of that,
Yeah, I'll still give him the credit for the intention of wanting to win a game.
You know what I say to that? Yeah, remember there was a report a couple weeks ago that, for example, Carrick and McKenna wanted to play back three against Liverpool, I think it was, but then Ollie and Phelan said no. There seemed to be a little bit of a divide in the
A friction
coaching
thing.
staff. Yeah. So that's why I'm
because
like, you know what? Michael Carrick might be trying something new that he wanted under Ollie, but Ollie kind of didn't listen.
Because you can even see, Statman, yeah, like when we play games now under Carrick, the changes come quick. I think before the 60th minute, we'd already made like 2 changes.
Yeah,
Ollie had a
the
standard
changes were
thing.
wrong, but at least he made them, yeah.
Yeah, at least he made them. They were wrong, but at least they made. Bro, Ollie had a standard thing where the changes won't come off before the 80th.
Ollie looked like us watching it on Sky Sports. He don't know what's going on, man. I can't
Exactly.
I swear he didn't beat. Did Ollie win the game at Arsenal? He must have had the best record. We must have the best record under him.
Under Arteta.
Yeah, man. I don't think he's beaten Arteta, man. If you don't beat Arteta, there's serious question marks still.
But we beat you. Remember Ollie's first season?
Nah, because
we was in the FA Cup. Sanchez.
Yeah, that's why I'm sure there's a win with Lingard.
Sanchez, but that's
somewhere. But that I'm saying that kind of tells where United are. As an Arsenal fan, realistically, you know, even when we used to be toe to toe, there shouldn't be, I wouldn't say an arrogance, but it's like I'm kind of more scared of certain other teams. You lot mentioned Ollie. So what would you say? Let me give a hard question because it's easy to slate, man. Yeah. Is there anything he did right? Like, is there one thing he did right? Like just one thing? Right, man's rolling his ass.
Nah, you actually have to think about this.
Yeah, you have to. I think you have to.
There must be one.
Because people will say he got rid of the deadwood, but I think any manager that would have come in after Mourinho would have gotten rid of people like Fellaini, Darmian, and all these players that really didn't play. Smalling, I think all of those people.
Half these players wanted to leave as well.
Yeah, they wanted to leave because they weren't being played anyway under Mourinho, and the atmosphere was toxic as well. So they wanted to leave anyway. But I'm really struggling. To think of one thing that Ollie did well, and
man management.
Actually, I got one thing.
Yeah, go on.
Remember when Mason's best friend died and all of that? I felt like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did handle the situation very, very well. Actually,
yeah. And
my man.
The Pogba situation with his agent as well. I think he handled that very well. I'll give him that. Fair play.
I hear that. Obviously, you lot mentioned Carrick, and I was going to ask you lot prior, like, my first question was going to be, would you lot kind of be nervous about Carrick because he was part of the regime? But obviously, he has his own ideas and things like that. You know, obviously, it's good to bring in Ralph. You know, what are you hopeful under Ralph? And, you know, is it bigger than Ralph? Because Ralph can have all the ideas in the world, and he's been there, done that, wore the team shirt, wore the shirt. There has to be people on the other side or people above him that sing from the same hymn sheet. For instance, the scouting thing. For him to be able to scout these players from, I don't know, Africa or Germany or wherever, it's not him in all these continents in the world. He has people or networks he can trust. You know, do you think your club is going to sing from the same hymn sheet? And what are you lot expecting under Ralph, man? Especially in both roles, really, because he's going to be a manager for a couple of months and then he's upstairs.
You want to go first? Fine, I'll say. All right, go on.
Hokey cokey.
You know what? Yeah, I'm expecting a lot from Rangnick because, you know, the track record speaks for itself, man. I think I've seen a list the other day of players that. Yeah, man. I've seen a list of all the players that he scouted because you're speaking about scouting here, and the amount of players he's taken from nowhere really is just ridiculous. And the fact that we're already getting linked to people like Haidara and Lima and Lamptey now, it just like it speaks. Those are the players with the exact same profile that as people at Leipzig, as people at Hoffenheim before, or people at Schalke, like his type of players. So I'm looking forward to his 2-year consultancy role because I think he'll make sure that the right players come in and play the style of football that he's imposed in those 6 months. So yeah, man, like I said, the track record speaks for itself. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the type of players we're going to get linked to in the next transfer windows.
So I'm scared as a neutral, man, because I've always said the minute you get a competent people above him, above like in the technical director and a competent manager, you man can be back. The money's there. The money arguably hasn't been managed. You know, there's a lot of things you lot can bypass, as you lot already know. And in our case as well, with several players like Azet, Pepe, Xhaka, for example, it's not about what you're spending; it's the tune you're getting out of these players. So yeah, Statman, how are you feeling on that?
I think the consultancy role Aaron spoke about is perfect. I'll say this here. You see, for like the next 6 months, I'll be honest, I am kind of concerned because if we're looking at Ralph's football, is the higher pressing and all of that in it? Our players haven't been used to that. Look at our last couple of managers, Jose, LVG, even Ollie. They haven't played the same style of football as Ralph in it, and we're one of the worst pressing sides in the league. So I feel like it will take a bit of time for him to implement his style. But at the same time, this is what I said to other people, just let him build his system and style of play for the next manager to take over and get his top 4. As long as he does that, I'm happy. Forget what happens in the Champions League. Forget what happens in the FA Cup. Top 4, and then there's like some building blocks for the next manager. Because like if we're looking at our last couple of managers here, everyone's different. LVG, possession style of football. Jose Mourinho, completely different. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, clueless. Like there is no style of play with Ole, let's be honest. Like
facts, bro.
As a club, you can't be doing that. Like if we're looking at Man City, for example, after Pep leaves, they're going to find literally a like for like in terms of style of football, which when they're going to turn over, it's just going to make it easier for them. With us, we literally do the impossible. These players are not suited for our style of play, which is why I keep saying, be patient now. It's a cultural reset kind of thing.
I hear that. So what are you thinking? You mentioned him from a tactical point of view, and you mentioned your players. Do you think there's going to be a lot of teething issues then? Because I look at when Klopp taken over, and I'm not a medical man, but obviously he did change the training regime, and you did see a couple of injuries. So is that something in the back of your lot's mind to consider?
Sorry, say that again. Like you cut a little bit.
Oh, sorry. I said basically, do you remember when Klopp took over at Liverpool and they play a similar certain brand of football, and there was a whole change in terms of the training, and there was a lot of injuries because of the intensity? Is that something you lot are bearing in mind? Is that a potential concern?
Yeah, man. Like I said, certain players might not get used to that type of football, so they might fall off. They might get injured. That's why I'm fearing for certain players. People like Maguire, people like Shaw. I don't know if they're going to be. Forget the games. I don't know if they'll be able to keep up in training because they've been so used to being comfortable, man, just doing whatever they want. Harry Maguire's a captain now. I think it kind of got to his head a little bit. I seen him at because Brian Robson released the film and they did like the premiere in Manchester the other day. Yeah, and they were taking a picture. I think him, Carrick, Brian Robson, Rooney, and Fergie, and the tweet said 5 legends. So that's going to get to his head as well. So I think a lot of players are going to be humbled. But in terms of like the physicality of the training sessions, I think a lot of people are not going to be able to keep up with that because it's very intense. Very intense. Because every start of the season, I watch Liverpool's preseason training in it, and they do that thing where they just run and run and run. And bro, like you would think Mane is the last man standing. You'd think Salah's the last man standing. No, it's always Milner. So
yeah, Milner's different with them lungs, man.
Do you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to be extra fit to be playing under Ralph. So yeah, man, I fear for people like Shaw, Maguire. But it's gonna be interesting to see who's gonna keep up, man. It's gonna be very interesting.
So I obviously getting on to Arsenal versus you, man. Now, what are you looking at going into the game? What sort of formation do you expect to play? And obviously, as an Arsenal fan, if you lot was snitching on your club, like what just taking Carrick at face value, what is he like as a manager? Like pretending he's been the manager for a year. What formation? If you was explaining it to someone who ain't watched Carrick, like formation, tactics, what is he trying to do? Any pros, any cons? What are we looking at Old Trafford?
I'll be honest, I don't think we know what Carrick's going to do because the first game we played a 4-2-3-1 and now we played the 4-3-3 or 4-3-1-2, whatever you're going to call it. So I feel like Carrick has shown a bit of flexibility, which is why for all like an Arsenal point of view, we're unpredictable. I still feel like the pressure's still on you going into this game.
We ain't gone to Old Trafford and got too many points, mate. I don't think there is any pressure.
Like my pressure, we don't have a manager basically. It's Michael Carrick. Yeah. Like you're in a good run of form, you should be beating us.
Oh, subjective. We should be, and that's where I'll be disappointed. But again, I don't like to get caught away with the whole sentiment and the fairy tales and things because we're on a run. On the face of it, we lost to Liverpool. It don't look that bad, but I'm yet to see, and I'm being harsh. But if we're nitpicking, that's what gets you to the better places. We haven't played well for a whole 90-minute stage. There's been better 10 minutes than others. There's been times we switched off. Obviously, these things are highlighted when you lose to Liverpool and certain men make mistakes. When I look at a couple of our games, the same way we played against Newcastle, the same way we played against Watford and Norwich. We won these games ultimately, but there's little moments where these games can go different. Like I look at Tavares. I don't know if he's starting Tierney or Tavares. Arguably, I'd bring Tierney back in. I could also say Tavares should start. We know he's an attacking-minded fullback. So my worry is a big, massive pitch like United, even though he's got an engine and he can run up and down, everyone gets tired. There's that space in behind. There's a Jadon Sancho who's just bagged in the Champions League and now the league. On the right-hand side, I back Tomiyasu against whoever's there. But him not going forward is an invitation for you lot down the left. The midfield battle between both our teams is going to put everyone to sleep. Obviously, Bruno can score goals, Pogba can do his thing, Smith Rowe can do whatever, but I'm not looking forward to seeing Partey
Bruno
and
hasn't had
Lokonga
the
against
shot in
Fred.
that too much. Shot on
This,
target too much
facts.
now.
this is why it's going to be stinky, bro. Look at your pivot against ours. It's going to smell. Lokonga and Partey up against Fred and McTominay. It's stinky. We've gone from Keane and Vieira to this. It's not going to be happy. I'll take a point, but as you said, kind of like what people should do against us. The way you're playing, everyone should feel disappointed if you do not get 3 points or if you do not score. I don't want us to go back and obviously common sense. You sit back where you can. It's not going to be us throwing punches, but I don't want to see this underdog thing. In the Premier League nowadays, people win when they move to man. West Ham moved to Liverpool. As much as they had to defend, they moved to them. Watford tried the thing. If we sit back, try this free at the back bullshit and just counter attack, it's not going to bang. It did last year. It's not going to bang. We go there, we try, you have conceded 20-something goals. That's not a confident defense. I don't even know who your pivot's going to be. Is it going to be Lindelof and Bailly? Go and ask questions. Bailly's a decent
back now
defender.
as well.
Maguire, again, he's a bit of a funky one. Go and ask questions. Both defenses are there. You lot should be looking at it. We've got a new look defense. You do have brain farts. There's been little moments. And again, I'm nitpicking because games like this, they're highlighted. So for me, I want to see a performance because, again, Spurs was a good performance. They were shit when we played them, if I'm honest. You lot are not where you want to be and we don't know what it is. But it's a thing where can we go there and exploit you and then go forward? Because our games ain't getting any easier. Everton are trash. But they're still looking for 3 points. We're playing West Ham soon. So I don't know, man. Where you look at in relation to this game, man?
You go, Stabby.
I'll be honest, from a United point of view, as much as I say you lot should be favourites, I'm confident in my side going into this game. I feel like I've seen enough from Michael.
Attacking bullshit is what scares me, man.
I've seen enough from Michael Carrick in those last 2 games where at least I got a bit of confidence going into this game with Michael Carrick. I feel like Ronaldo has a point to prove now. And let's be honest, say what you want about Ronaldo. When he has a point to prove, he's going to prove it. Correct. He will score against Arsenal in my eyes.
Yeah, we all counted a goal. Like a clean sheet's naive. It's can we take our chances when they're presented? And for me, can you create chances? Again, there's players that if they play well, give them a vote of confidence. As you said, Ralph is coming in. That's going to give you a spring in your step. Carrick's probably gassing, man. The fact that Ollie's gone, everyone's probably got a spring in their step. Van der Beek, I've seen him more times now. But it's the same thing. Can we up? Both players, for me, should be asking questions of either team's defense. I really need to see shots. And we don't really create. We don't shoot. And mentally, when we play in these grounds where the fans might be on top of you, we struggle. And Carrick, I remember he was a stone throw away from signing for Arsenal, so it's always things like that give you the extra sort of nerves. I'll take a point. You live to fight another day, but I think both fans should be disappointed.
You would take a point?
Not grab 3. Yeah, bro, away from it, realistically, you look at the fixture calendar, a point at United isn't too bad. I hate our away record. Definitely the way you lot are playing, we should be trying to win. But you live to fight another day. The fact that we ain't really done bits in a big game, I would love to win, but you fight to live another day. You can't always look at the euphoria, Again, I'll take you. You beat Newcastle, you got your insurance. Again, if we lose, it's an L. But you got your insurance. You go again. I'm looking at Everton on Monday. Like, you need to be winning because they're even shitter than you, man. And Rafa, if he gets 3 points against us, that's gonna do a thing.
I hear that, yeah. But say if I told you we got 5 points from my last 24 points, getting a point at Old Trafford, would you not be disappointed?
You're not hearing me. You lot are there. I agree with you. You lot are there for the taking. I'll be vexed if you don't get 3. But if you can't win, don't lose. I'm just not.
Yeah, I hear that, yeah. But I feel like if you don't beat us, if I was an Arsenal fan and you don't beat United, I'll be disappointed. I feel like United are there for the taking right now.
We've got bigger problems, man. I'm trying to see Arteta get us back into Europe. I'm trying to see some more attacking football and creating chances. As much as I want to win, and it's the battle of Twitter. Nah, man, I'll bite your arm off for a point still, man, because you lot are bookie, man.
Yeah, I agree with that,
gassing, man.
I agree with that, man. I think with the squad that we have, I think we have enough quality to beat you guys. I don't necessarily think it will be the football that's going to make us win this game. But I think if let's say we're drawing 1-1 and we need someone to make a difference, we can bring on a Van der Beek that can make a difference. We can bring on a Ronaldo. We can bring on a Greenwood. We can bring anyone from the bench that can make a difference. I think that's what's going to win us the game. It's probably not going to be the football that we're playing because, like you said, the midfield battle is going to be stinky the whole game. I believe so. So, yeah, man, especially with Pogba not playing, I don't think there's going to be anyone in that midfield that's going to make like the massive difference with that, piece of skill that can take out 2 man. And it's going to be a stinky midfield the whole game. I think our wingers and our fullbacks could be the difference. in both
That's
teams.
where I see it. No, because we're a team that has brain farts, and you lot are a bookie team. You lot could play rubbish for 89 minutes, but someone has taken advantage of that little bit of mistake, and that's what scares me. In games like that, you can't afford to carry on like that. So we're gonna have to see what's going on in that regards, man. You know, it's gonna be bookie. What would you say in terms of score? In fact, before score predictions, if you lot could pick the team, what are you going with?
I'll go with De Gea. We both agree with that. Well, Wan-Bissaka probably still.
Yeah, he'll play.
I would go with Bailly Lindelof. And then Telles.
I'd go for the same. Keep the same centre-back partnership because they played well against Chelsea.
What do you do in midfield
then? Well, first of all, left back, I think Telles should stay. I think Telles should keep playing. Midfield, I've got the feeling like Carrick's going to go for McTominay again, man. I think he loves the guy so much. I think he sees himself in McTominay, to be honest.
Sky Sports gave him man of the match the other day as well, so that probably got him as well.
Yeah, man.
No, that was some
stinky
nonsense,
performance, man. That was didn't agree with that at all. But I think he's going to go with, I hate to say it, man, Fred McTominay, bro. I think it's going to be them two, bro, and it's going to be. You know what? I actually think he's going to switch it up again. I think he's going to go for Van der Beek because Bruno had a very poor game against Chelsea.
You don't think he gives Jesse a chance?
In the 10, I don't know, you know. On the wing, yes, I can see it happening, but because Rashford's been poor as well, so you might play Lingard on the left, and then Sancho is going to stay on the right, obviously.
See, that's the thing with Carrick here. These two games, we played a lot of different players, isn't it? So we don't really know.
That's the thing.
You don't know what he's on. It's a monopoly thing, isn't it?
And you know, because he's an interim, he can make these big decisions because there's no repercussions really, innit?
Exactly, yeah. I think he's going to go with McTominay, Fred, Van der Beek in the 10. Then he's going to go Sancho right, Lingard left, two runners that are going to serve Ronaldo up top.
I think he'll go still Rashford on the left, innit?
Nah, bro, Rashford was dead on
Sunday. Yeah. I think he was poor, but I still feel like he'll play Marcus Rashford, innit? Like, I still see someone like even Martial playing over Jesse on the left.
True, I can see Martial playing as well. But what I do like about Carrick is if you have a poor performance, but then again, Sancho scored a goal and took him off. Yeah.
No, but I think Sancho had a knock as well, so that's something interesting to look at.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm good. I'm glad that he's not afraid to make changes early. So if someone doesn't play well, I think he'll take him off.
I don't know what I will set up, man, because a part of me feels, is it necessarily wise to switch to a back three? Yes, because it's what served you last year, and obviously it's to respect the space, because for me, it's off the ball. No matter what you lot say about your players in form, Bruno off the ball, form or not, if he starts, he's a problem, as is Ronaldo, and the space that we're going to give as to what we're doing, you know, our high line and our fullbacks. There's every logic in going with a back three. Now, a back three doesn't have to be negative. You can go forward, as you lot know. I'm not sure if Arteta is going to do that. We've got a young and naive squad, and they've been playing this 4-1, 4-1, 4-4-2, whatever you want to call this hybrid nonsense. Whatever it is in it, because I don't like to get hung up on formations. Are they smart enough to suddenly just go back to a three? And especially in a game like this, now we've had X amount of days to work on it, but I don't know if they're going to do it, because there's been times under Arteta and in general with Emre and Wenger where we've played a 4 for a while, we've gone to a 3, we've used a 3 for a while, and then we've switched, and it looks like the defenders in particular, they don't really know what's going on. I wouldn't mind going with a 3, because obviously 3 against a 1 Ronaldo still going to be in problems, but I think it will give us a bit of a confidence, and we can be a bit more compact in the middle, and that's where I want Smith Rowe. I want our left back to take on you lot. I want our left-hand side has to have something. I think Wan-Bissaka looks shaky. He'll probably mash work, but he looks shaky. Your defense can't buy a clean sheet. They probably will now ask questions. And I just feel if we go with Smith Rowe on that left, his game plan is to go inside. You lot will, you know, Wan-Bissaka will have a breather. So I think it's like what you said, Aaron. The game's won or lost in the flanks for me.
Facts. Yeah, definitely.
It's brazy, man. It's brazy. What are you lot saying for score predictions?
2-1 United.
Yeah, I think it'll be
I'll be honest, I'm confident for this game, you know.
Well, talk your truth, man. Don't be humble.
I think it'll be a tight game. I'm going to say 2-1 as well. I think you lot will score first. And then
my heart can't take all of that, man. I don't want this scoring first thing and then we're running away with it. And no. My heart can't take this, man. I'm not on that at all, man. You know, I'm just going to say 0-0, man. I think it's going to be stinky.
Nah, man, don't bottle it. Come on, back your boys. Back your boys.
Because you're here, you know what? Fairy tale
run your
thing.
mouth.
1-0. Aubameyang scoring. Fuck it. Aubameyang. We're back. Aubameyang's back. Aubameyang's back on Thursday. Like, you heard it here first. Aubameyang's back on Thursday. I'm nervous for the game. I'm nervous for you lot on Spurs. I can't lie, because these games are beaky, and you lot, you know, Ferguson might be paying his direct debits again, man. I don't know what he's on.
Right, come on, man.
Old
You already
Trafford
know.
is beaky. Oh man, I love for coming on my show, YouTube, man. Let them know where they can find either of you. Obviously, people, when this is on YouTube, their information will be in the descriptions. They'll be added in the title. You can subscribe and follow to them, etc., etc. Yeah, man. Any shows today? Where can they find you? You look, take the floor, man.
Yeah, you can find me at Mr. Aaron United. That's MrAaronUtd on YouTube. And follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which is Aaron Chikaya. That's AaronCikaya. So yeah, I'm probably gonna go to Old Trafford. I'm still waiting for my plug to sort my ticket out. So yeah, I'll be at Old Trafford. I'll be at the ground to watch the game. Hopefully we go away with I come back home with a dub. It's been a while since I've been to Old Trafford.
Fuck that. Go on.
It's been since the Atalanta game, bro. I haven't been back because the football's just horrendous, and I promised myself not to go back as long as Ollie's in charge. So yeah, my first game back, bro. So
For sure, man.
Yeah, man. Make sure you follow me and you subscribe to my channel as well.
Go on, Statman, man. Any shows today? Where can they find you?
Statman Baines, Twitter, Insta, YouTube, Twitch. I think I got a show today with Ty and Biz at 5:30 on YouTube, so that should be interesting to see what they're saying. Because I can't lie, they were rattling me in the chat yesterday as well. Chatting about Ronaldo. Doing that most.
Oh man. But yeah, people, obviously one love to you lot. It's been a lit show. Again, one love to Aaron and Stat for being on my show. Again, hopefully we can nick the 3 points. I'm gonna love and leave you lot. Obviously, I'll be live playing Football Manager at 4 p.m. Make sure you subscribe to the Mandem. We're out, people. Stay blessed, stay safe. Safe.
There's always that active and defending.
I think it's like